Yeah, I thought JMO, really escaped 2 innings, essentially, the first and the fourth, and he had to make big pitches in both innings. That's why you want JMO out there. It's said before, it's the calm in the storm, and nothing phased him, and he made a couple really, both times, made some good pitches in the first to just limit the damage. Well, in the first and the fourth to limit the damage. And that's what being a good pitcher is about. Like a run scores and you don't get flustered, you don't change anything, you just keep making pitches. And for JMO to just put up single runs in those innings was really important, especially with how the game kind of unfolded.
Just how would you describe Michael Busch again in the leadoff spot, and the way not only getting the crowd right into it, but just leveling the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell our guys it's the first inning every inning tomorrow. I think that's our best formula right now offensively. But Michael's look, he's you can just tell by the way they manage the game. Like he's become the guy in the lineup that everybody's thinking about, and they're doing their pitching around him. And that's a credit to the player. It really is. It's not easy to do, and he's put us off to a great start a whole bunch of these games.
Dev on the left.
We talked about momentum last game. It felt like the momentum shift when Pete got that big hit. How important was that, obviously?
Yeah, I mean, I think we haven't really played with a lead this really the entire offseason. I guess Game 3 against San Diego we did, but we had Priester on the ropes, and we had great at-bats kind of getting to that point. And so finishing an inning is important. Adding on runs is important. Those kind of crooked numbers, super important in the postseason. And sometimes that's the chance you get. And we put up a big number in an inning, and it held up.
Megan?
Keller's done so many different things for you guys in different spots. Just the 8th inning there in that moment, especially falling behind 1-0. Just what did you see out of that 3-pitch sequence that followed to get out of the biggest moment of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think 2 things. And I thought Caleb did a really nice job as well. I thought he did a really nice job on Contreras, and that it's not an out, and he still did a really nice job, right? He got strike 1, and then he he was going to make him hit his pitch the rest of the at bat, and I thought that's how you go through that sequence of hitters. It took Brad a couple pitches to get into it, but he made a really good pitch with 2 strikes, just a fastball up and just good velocity up, the right pitch, and got himself out of it.
Let's go to Kyle and then Christina.
Craig, are you ready to name a starter for tomorrow?
I got one more conversation to have, and then we'll do that.
Christina.
You kind of alluded to it, but I guess the performance that Jamison gave you were able. How did it affect being able to line up your bullpen with the lead?
I think it's just in the postseason, it's just like number of outs you can get, right? And kind of looked at it before the game as like we really need to get JMO 2 times through the order. When he had a 1, 2, 3 third, you're thinking maybe we can get 4+ from him or an out in the 5th. They put together a nice rally in the 4th, but that was kind of the minimum we needed, I guess is how I'd say it. He got us 12 outs, and I think what it does more than anything is we didn't have to really overuse anybody tonight, so we should be in pretty good shape for tomorrow, and that's important.
Let's go to the back right.
You used 5 relief pitchers tonight. Are they all available tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna always wait to see how they feel when they come in, but I don't think any of them threw more than 20 pitches. A couple guys went 1+, but nobody with more than 20 pitches. So anticipate being in pretty good shape.
Thank you.
Let's go to the back left.
Craig, you were able to force them to use 6 pitchers. How do you anticipate that's going to help you guys tomorrow, where you put them into some uncomfortable positions?
Well, they did their guys did a nice job. I mean, they got, I think, what they having to take your starter out in the first inning. that's potentially something that really uncomfortable. But their guys did a good job, and they obviously put up 8 scoreless innings after that. So I think they're in fine shape tomorrow. We maybe in Game 5 that has some impact. I don't think it has an impact tomorrow.
Take 2 more up in the front on the right side.
Craig, between last Thursday, Game 3, and then tonight, how have you seen your team handle the mental and emotional component of the brink of elimination?
Well, I mean, this is it's fun and stressful in the same sentence and the same light, and I think you feel both emotions a lot. But you're planning to play tomorrow, and that can't help but give you something else, right? It has to. And I thought we played with that urgency, especially in the first. We just did a great job in the first inning. We had really good at bats. I thought, the Michael homer, yes, great. Nico getting on base right away again. Like, it's not going to be a 1-run inning. You're going to have a tough inning again. And I thought, we did that really, really well. And it makes a difference. Every run is so hard to come by, and so we put together that really beautiful inning, and you have to play like that. You kind of pull out all the stops, and you if that gives you an advantage, you try to take advantage. You try to use it as much as you can.
Megan.
I was just curious, the pop up in the first inning, that foul, it looked like you were chatting with the ump, were you looking for clarification?
Yeah. I mean, Michael just clearly just lost it. He had no idea where the ball was. And then, the wind put the ball in a place that was like just no man's land for everybody. Nico and Dansby went after it, but the ump's got it right. It was, you have to have a player under like that's going to catch it to call infield fly. And we never had a player really close to catching it. So right call. I was hoping they made the wrong call. They did not.
We'll take one last one with Kyle.
I just kind of wanted to ask, just what did you see from the at bats after that first? And you kind of talked about it in your first answer, but just what did you see from the at bats as the game progressed?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't produce a lot of opportunities. I thought the third against Quintana was maybe the first and second, nobody out. We had a couple pitches we had some pitches to hit that inning. I know Carson was mad at himself. I thought he had a pitch to hit. Dansby got to 3-1. Quintana threw a pretty good pitch on the away, but it got into knew a fastball was coming count. So that was really the inning where I thought we had a shot to add on. That was our biggest opportunity, and we just, I think Carson would tell you he missed a pitch. He had a good pitch to hit, 2-1, I think, and popped it up to right.
Yeah, well, that's the goal every time, is just to take advantage of moments where guys, do it in front of you. I think Michael hitting the homer, I think that just adds so much comfort for the rest of the inning, because it's like, it's 0-0 again. I've been pretty fortunate in a couple of these elimination games to just have pretty nice opportunities in front of me with guys on base, and I think that makes this job just a little bit easier sometimes. So.
Christina and then Megan. Actually, Christina, there's a mic behind you.
Yes, Michael, just the way that the pop-up Lost in the Sun, to be able to come back the way you did, if you just take us through the emotions of that whole inning.
Yeah, obviously, lost it. And then to be able to, let up a run there was, kind of, upsetting, but at the same time had to flush it. JMO kind of, did a really good job at only letting one run up. But then, just tried to reset. It's a long game, and, there's a lot of outs, and, just tried to remind myself of just, have a good at-bat. And I think that, along with, energy in the dugout, really helped. And, yeah, I thought that first inning, just 1 through 9, we had, some phenomenal at-bats. Put a lot of pressure on them. Obviously it was big for us that inning.
Megan.
Michael, what you've been able to do in the leadoff spot, especially when it comes with the home runs, just how would you just describe your approach, especially now with kind of having a reputation of, being able to go deep in the first at bat. And then Pete, just what has it been like watching what he has done in the leadoff spot?
Yeah, it's it always doesn't go that way, but just try to have a good at bat. From the moment I was placed in that spot, I just they put me there, and I thought why change what I do, and just having a good at bat, staying aggressive, trusting my eyes, and from there it's just kind of one of those things where I just try to have my at bat, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't, but I was happy to kind of get it going, and that first inning was fun and it was good for us.
Yeah, he's gotten it going for us this whole second half. It's really cool to be in a dugout when people are like hot and are on tears. I just think the leadoff spot's so cool because as the game's kind of progressed, you're seeing guys like Schwarber and George Springer when he was leading off all the time and kind of doing what Bushy's doing. I just think that's so exciting, and to be able to set a tone like that, or to be able to, like I said, make that ball game 0-0, I think that's so huge. So the confidence we have in sending Bushy up there, any at bat it's obviously very high, but the confidence that I have when Michael Busch leads off a ball game or an inning is through the roof, and I think I think I'm just one of the lucky ones that gets to have watched his year so far. So
a few more for these guys. We'll go back to Sahadev.
Michael, can you just take us through what the feeling was in the dugout when Pete got that hit in the first inning, and kind of, just how huge that was?
It is. It's huge. I think that's a perfect word to put it. Came through San Diego against you, Darvish. It's a big at bat, a big swing. I think that's just kind of what we're trying to do as a collective group, is just get guys on, put pressure on them, and sometimes we're going to come through, and sometimes we might not, but just kind of passing the baton and keep putting pressure on them. I feel like we got a lot of trust in our guys in the lineup, guys on the bench, to just come through in those situations, and he's come through huge for us, and he's done that for us all year. Been a big reason as to why we're where we are. But yeah, another big swing by him.
Go to the back left.
You guys, obviously, in game one, you had a starter who couldn't make it out of the first inning. Today, you guys do it to them. What does that mean? How meaningful is it to knock out a starter in the first inning and really just set the tone from the start?
I think that's it's kind of what we're trying to do. I guess we're just trying to have good at bats one after the other and put pressure on them, make them make decisions, and no matter who's on the mound, we're trying to get guys on base. We're trying to score them. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But the more that you can put pressure on them, get guys in runners in scoring position, I feel like the better off you are. I think that's just kind of what we've been doing all year. Getting a lot of guys on base, and then there's 1 through 9, and like I said, guys on the bench, guys just come through in big spots.
If we could take the starter out the first inning every game, I think we'd have a 150 win season. That's just hugely important, getting into the bullpen in these kind of series. It's not like we're facing anybody that's a walk in the park if we get to their bullpen early. I think it's just beneficial as the series goes on, and obviously our goal is to play into Game 5 here. So I think anytime you get to make the bullpen work a little bit harder is just, it's really good as you move forward.
Megan?
Your guys' bullpen has been so lights out for most of the season. Just how would you describe being on the field in that 8th inning there, watching what Keller did getting out of that jam?
Yeah, BK's had to come in some tough spots here and there. As have a lot of our guys. I think there's been points where we haven't picked our bullpen up as an offense. But at the same time, I think the bullpen's always got confidence in the other 8 of us that are out there with them, and just the fact that we're going to go make plays. It's always nice though when BK can kind of come in and shut the door, and anybody can come in and put the ball on the ground and let Dansby and Nico go to work, let Bushy go to work, Matt. But I mean, that's just so cool watching him come in like such a big situation. It's my first time getting to see playoff ball and be a part of it. So kudos to BK, because he's along with the other guys in the bullpen, they've all come in big spots and got the job done so many times.
We'll go to the back right.
Sorry.
Pete, if you had a second chance to cut that ball in the 8th inning, you think you would catch it?
Yeah. There's just like some heights, there's some like types of flight on the baseball that are a little tricky when it's a little lower. I think you see it with Ian a little bit more, just because it feels like he's more square with those lights. But that was just one that I was fighting the lights, and I've made that play before where I'm fighting the lights, and then tonight, would have been big if I did make that play. So you definitely opened up a wound. No, I was kicking myself, but yeah, I absolutely make that play again if I get the chance, for sure.
We'll take one more on the back right.
And do you guys have any message for the fan base that brought all this energy tonight?
You want to start?
Yeah, I mean, just bring it right back. It's been fun to be a part of. The fan base, just the energy that they brought all season, and then obviously into the postseason, it's been phenomenal. I think it's one of those things is, you get the fan base behind you, you get them on their feet loud. It's like an extra person out there for you. Create a lot of pressure for them, and it's fun. It's fun to be out there, a part of it. But it's a lot of fun to see them, kind of the energy they bring from the first pitch to the last. Just bring it right back. We're going to need them tomorrow, and, we're excited about it too.
Yeah, we got more ball to play, for sure.